Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Text 13, Chapter 13, Text 21. Vidura Uvacha Tasya Shila Nidheradho Brahmanasya Mahatmanaha Rajna Katamabhu Dushta Prajayad Vimanayayo. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vidura inquired from the sage Maitreya, "My dear Brahmana, King Anga was very gentle. He had a high character and was a saintly personality and lover of Brahmanical culture. How is it that such a great soul got a bad son like Vena, because of whom he became indifferent to his kingdom and left it?" Purport. In family life, a man is supposed to live happily with father, mother, wife, and children. But sometimes, under certain conditions, a father, mother, child, or wife becomes an enemy. It is said by the Chanakya Pandit that a father is an enemy when he is too much in debt. A mother is an enemy if she marries for a second time. A wife is an enemy when she is very beautiful. And a son is an enemy when he is foolish, rascal. In this way, when a family member becomes an enemy, it is very difficult to live in family life or remain a householder. Generally, such situations occur in the material world. Therefore, according to Vedic culture, one has to take leave of his family members just after his 50th year, so that the balance of his life may be completely devoted in search of Krishna consciousness. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So, the father of Vena was King Anga. King Vena, whom we saw in the previous sloka, he was cursed by the great sages and he died because of his bad character. And his father was very gentle, it is said here. And it is said that he had high character and a saintly person, lover of Brahmana. How is it such a great soul get a son like Vena? Because of which King Anga decided to leave home. As Prabhupada is explaining in this purport, family man is supposed to live happily with father, mother, children, wife. And if any one of those members become a thorn in the family, then the entire family life is disturbed. And not only that, such a person, whether it is a bad father or bad mother or bad children or bad wife, they become an enemy for everybody else in the family. Because family is supposed to be harmonious, and if there is one bad element, it disturbs the entire family. So in this case, Vena was born to King Anga, and because of his extremely bad character, exactly contradictory to his father's character, the father could not tolerate and he left the home. So, Prabhupada quotes Chanakya Pandit, the various circumstances under which these, the father, mother, children, wife, effectively turn out to be an enemy. And he quotes Chanakya Pandit that a father who has accumulated too much debt, he becomes an enemy. And mother is an enemy if she marries a second time. Wife is an enemy when she is very beautiful. And a son is an enemy when he is a foolish rascal. So these are all various situations where one has to continuously deal with this enemy which disturbs the happiness of family life. Even it is said, wife is an enemy when she is very beautiful. Not that she is becoming enemy, but her beauty becomes an enemy because the husband has to constantly guard against who will approach her, who will take her away. No peace. And son is an enemy when he is a foolish rascal, etc. So this whole family life is grahastha ashrama. It is one at the stage of his practice in brahmachari ashram, when he is practicing, when he is a brahmachari, he is supposed to develop good character. And the whole training of brahmacharya is to make a person with good character. What is good character? What does character mean? Or what does it mean, a person without character? A devotee has highest character. Character means, it is said here, is Shila Nidhe. Different Shilas. Tasya Shila Nidhe. He has cultivated an asset. Nidhe. What is that? Good habits. There are good habits of various things. But good habitual cultured free will constitutes character. You may have a good habit of eating. That is different. That's good habit, eating habit. Character means how you exercise your free will according to certain principles. In the material world also people have sometimes good characters, but they may be based on material principles. They may be based on moral principles. So a devotee is not this body, he is a spirit soul. And the topmost faculty of the soul is free will. Everything else comes below it. Your ability to desire, your ability to think, feel, will, act, everything follows the free will. The free will is the topmost faculty that we have got, which determines actually who we are. Each person is different. Just like we say, he is a man of good character. That means his free will is predictable. Under certain circumstances, he will do certain things, even if it is very hard, very difficult. Under certain circumstances, he will refuse to act, even if it is very enticing. Even it is offering great sense gratification, or even if it is offering great power. Man of character, he will refuse to accept anything and everything. And he has no hesitation to reject anything and everything based on some principles. So behind a character, there are principles. A devotee's highest principle is to please Guru and Krishna. So we have to develop our exercise of free will. Each time one does not have to think. Each time one does not have to think whether I should indulge in sense gratification or not, case by case. That is a weak situation, a weak personality. A strong personality has free will habits, default free will, exercise of free will, where he does not give himself up to certain things. He doesn't have to decide, oh, should I accept this sense gratification or not? By default, it's a very powerful thing. He rejects. If something is pleasing to Krishna, by default, one's conditioning may say, this is too much tapasya. Mind may say, but man of character, a devotee of character will say, because he is cultured like that, he doesn't have to struggle to exercise his free will to please Krishna. This is training. Initially, it's not like that. Initially, each situation, and you are a trainee, each situation you have to analyze and say no, say yes. How to say yes to certain things, no to certain things based on principles. We have to train our mind. And this training of mind happens in the Varnashrama system. The entire brahmachari life is meant for training, setting the foundations, where the four regulative principles, there is no question of a trained person giving up those four regulative principles. He is trained. When he is trained, he doesn't have to struggle against temptations. This is important. Of course, Maya is very powerful. So when Maya is very powerful, without training, even worse is the situation. If you have good training, then you have a shield against Maya's enticement. So following these four regulative principles means you're exercising your free will and you're trained your free will. It becomes a default decision making. That I will not do this. Four regulative principles. I will not break it. So human being has got that capacity to train, the human mind has got that capacity to train himself how to mold his free will exercise. When a person, that is called self-control. Self-control is one of the highest character traits. Sometimes many people have good character with respect to how they will behave with others, what they will do, what they will not do to others. Will not steal anybody's this thing, all kind of good character they will have. But they won't have character with respect to their own self. What I do to myself, what I won't do to myself. Because most of these character traits, four regulative principles, no intoxication. You're not bothering anybody, but you are harming yourself. So you have no character of not harming yourself. Illicit sex, you're not bothering anybody, but you are bothering yourself. So just like we have character, what I will do or what I will not do to others, similarly we should also have a character, what I will do or what I will not do to myself. In the animal kingdom, there is no formation of character. It goes simply by the favorable urges and unfavorable pains. Animals' free will is acting based on that. Animals are opportunistic. They see the opportunity, and when there is opportunity for sense gratification, they will grab it. Human being should not be opportunistic. They should be principled. So when a person is principled, then we say that person has character. His free will is based on principles. And principles don't change. Situations keep changing. Meaning of principle means it does not change according to circumstance and situations. For instance, if you say, I will not steal others' property, that is a principle. You may be enticed with so many unlimited opportunities to steal. No, each situation you won't analyze, should I steal or not steal? Because each situation will be enticing for the mind. Oh, it's very nice if I steal this. But a principled person will not be opportunistic. Because the principle is, I should not steal anything from others. I should stick to what is given unto me by God through laws of karma or by His mercy in the case of a devotee. He does not trample upon other people's rights. That is Jiva Himsa. So like this, his character is molded and the principles are working. Molded means what? It is practiced. Repeatedly practiced, and therefore it becomes a software, this brain, default. So the habits are very powerful. Cultivating a good character is very powerful. Because each time one does not have to agitate his mind to take a decision this way or that way. So if you have default responses, principle-based default responses to different situations in life, for instance, in life one may experience, it is a fact that sukha and dukkha are part of our life. If we have a higher principle of depending upon Krishna and accepting what comes due to my past, and then one will be not disturbed. Otherwise, opportunistic means what? According to opportunity. Here is sukha, very excited. Here is dukkha, very depressed. So, when Krishna says be equal to sukha and dukkha, he is talking about be a man of principles. So this varnashrama system is that character in Sanskrit is called samskara. Your default responses to different situations. So a devotee should always aspire to build a good character in himself. Character is a big shield. If we have a good character, it's very difficult to shake that person by enticement, by allurement. For human being, for sense control, cultivating good character is extremely useful and essential for spiritual life. Of course, as I mentioned, there are devotional principles, there are moral principles of this world. All are important, but the highest is devotional principles. And devotional principle has only one principle. I will accept what pleases Krishna, I will reject what does not please Krishna. Only one principle. And such a person is at the highest character, is a person of highest character. In the mundane world, material world, you may say somebody who is not telling lies, somebody who is not stealing, they have got good character, you will say. There is no Krishna in the picture. They will bring good karma to that person. For those who accept things favorable for devotion service, reject things unfavorable for devotion service, such persons are cultivating a very good character. I will not do anything that is displeasing to Krishna. Character. Don't ask me to do this. I cannot do it. I will not do it. It is not an instant decision, but it is samskara. He is not inclined to do it. He is not inclined to do it. So the lifestyle that Srila Prabhupada has given us, Vaishnava lifestyle, how we should live, what good habits we should cultivate, Vaishnava achar, what are the nishiddhachara, what is the prohibited habits, bad habits. We become devotee. We have changed our habits. Past habits we have changed. That means we have changed our character. By association with Prabhupada, by association with Krishna, holy name, association, the deities, etc., we have changed our character. So character is changeable in the human form of life. Already it is said that Kalau Shudra Sambhava. Everybody is born as a Shudra. From a Shudra he has to become a Vaishnava. It is nothing but character formation. And therefore, part and parcel of our preaching mission to create good human beings in this society is to preach also the devotional lifestyle. We not only preach philosophy, we preach to people devotional lifestyle. A lifestyle which is very close to self-realization. All that is favorable for self-realization. Only by self-realization and God-realization we can stop this misery of birth, death, old age and disease. So preaching Krishna consciousness means bringing people to accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead, bringing people to understand that free will is not free. Every time you use free will, you have to pay with a reaction. Only Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, His free will is completely free. He is free from any reactions. Our free will is always subjected to reactions. When we use our free will in service of the Lord, then that is actually real freedom, real free will. So as we started discussing, the key point that we have to understand is, as a person, we are all persons. We are all where we are in different types of bodies because of our exercising our free will. That much importance is given to our free will. That is our nature. Because we are part and parcel of Krishna, who is the Supreme Person with supreme free will. We are also persons with tiny free will. By exercise of our free will, just like Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, regulative principles of freedom. How do you call it freedom? You are regulating, at the same time you are called freedom. Yes, regulative principles for the body, for the mind and the senses constitute freedom for the soul. Soul is free, but soul is now covered. Soul's nature is free. So in the material world, we cannot imitate our spiritual situation like in the spiritual world. Here we are held responsible for our free will. That is the loss of karma. So gradually this Shila or habits are always formed over time. It is not acquired overnight. I want to change my habit, tomorrow I can change. No. Because it has gone into your subconscious. It's a deep programming. Some of this deep programming may be continuation of previous life. Some of the deep negative programming may be we are acquired in our karmi life. Various beliefs. What is happiness? What is pleasure? And those deep beliefs do not go. And those beliefs determine our free will. So, for developing a good character, the background is transcendental knowledge and intelligence. And that is why it is very important that one is trained under the spiritual master. And the spiritual master gives that knowledge and intelligence by which our free will should be trained. What to do, what not to do in different circumstances. Our decision what to do, what not to do in different situations can take us to hell, can take us to heaven, or can take us back to Godhead. And that is in our hands. We are responsible for our own spiritual advancement. If we get hold of our free will and practice surrender, accept things favorable for devotional service, reject things unfavorable for devotional service, we'll be galloping towards the Supreme Lord. The Varnashrama system is continuously meant for training our free will, which went berserk by coming into this material world, imitating Krishna's free will. I can do what I want. And we came into this world. Now if we have to go back to this world, to the spiritual world, then we have to fine-tune our free will according to the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. And that is a thread that is continuously, you can find in the principles of brahmacharya, and the principles of grahastha the principle of vanaprastha and the principles of sannyasa ashrama. This is a running principle of character development in all these situations. Just like in vanaprastha, you take austerities. In sannyas, you develop renunciation from everything. In brahmachari, you train your mind to follow the regulative principles. And you train your mind to do your sadhana. And what you have trained continues into grahastha ashrama. If you have no training of this, then your grahastha ashrama is finished. It is no longer an ashrama. When you enter grahastha ashrama, then there are additional samskaras. Then you go into vanaprastha, you have got, along with what you have trained, you have additional. And finally, when you take sannyas, you have got additional training required. And what is the goal of all this training? Ultimately to attain either Brahman, either heavenly planets, or Brahman, or go to Vaikuntha. 3 destinations. The living entity can choose. Everybody need not go back to Krishna. if they don't want to. But because this material world squeezes them, they want liberation. So liberation means freedom, liberation from these miseries that everybody wants. And therefore they take different routes to get free from liberation. Jnanic process to become merge in the Brahma Jyoti. Or some people think, okay, let me do a lot of punya so that I don't have to suffer. Let me go to the heavenly planets. That route is also allowed. Or once for all, I want to get rid of this birth, death, old age and disease. I want to go back to my eternal relative. Don't want to loiter in this material world anymore. I want a spiritual body in the spiritual world. Then you follow the path of devotional service. And that is a different kind of, as I said, this is also character. Character building. And in human form of life, we can build character. That means you can change your samskara. In animal body, you cannot change the samskara. Or you cannot change the default responses. Any questions? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जाए, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जाए।